Hi, welcome to video 1. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is the general enzyme reaction scheme. Oh man. Alright, I gotta work on this. So what we have for this is we have S and this is going to be our substrate. It's not too bad. And we're going to have E, and this is going to be our enzyme. And this enzyme, this area here, is an active site. So we have the substrate, we have the enzyme, and then we have its active site. So what's going to happen first is the substrate, it's going to bind, and then the enzyme is going to, and substrate are going to shift conformations. So we've got substrate binding, enzyme conformational shift. And this equilibrium we call big KS. And what we're going to form after this binding and conformational shift is that we've got an enzyme substrate complex. So this is also known as the Michaelis complex. Named after Michaelis. And I'm going to denote it also as the enzyme coordinated to the substrate. So what I'm trying to denote there is that the enzyme's changing shape, right? And we have the substrate and the enzyme binding, so I can even draw some little dotted lines here to denote the enzyme and substrate binding. I'm going to have another equilibria from that. Need another piece of paper under this. And the rate of the forward step of this equilibria is K cat. So that's the turnover number. If you're familiar with traditional, or not traditional, chemical catalysis. And that's going to get us to the enzyme bound to the transition state. So what I'm trying to denote here is tighter binding. And this is the enzyme bound to the transition state. So the transition state of the product, so the enzyme is bound tighter now. And then that's going to turn into the enzyme coordinated bound to the product. The enzyme's bound to the product. And then the product's going to leave. And we're going to have regenerated enzyme and free product. So the enzyme can go back and do that all over again. And so the overall equation for this is enzyme plus substrate. We have an equilibrium. This equilibrium is governed by big Ks. Enzyme substrate equilibrium. We form the enzyme substrate complex, also known as the Michaelis complex. And through another equilibrium, we're going to get to the enzyme to the transition state, bound to the transition state. And that's going to go to the enzyme coordinated to the product. And that's going to go to enzyme plus product. All right, and that's the end of